Hello, this is Dad. Financial questions. Okay, so number one, don't spend more than you make. Easier said than done. Okay, so what this takes is controlling your internal desires for things, suppressing that, pushing that down, and making sure that you are not spending more than you make. When you have credit cards, it makes it very easy to spend more than you make. So you might strongly consider not using credit cards at all, or limiting the amount that you use credit cards greatly. And you know that I use credit cards often. I also pay off my credit cards at the end, well, most of my credit cards at the end of the month. There is one that is out of hand because of, what we did with the apartment. And, you girls know all about that. So no need to go into details, but pay off the credit cards or don't use the credit cards. Easy, simple, right? Nope. Hard, difficult. You have to be disciplined and make sure that you're making an effort every single month to do the right thing by your finances. And the very first thing is to spend less than you make. Okay, so next step, invest what you don't spend, right? Okay, so you've gotten your bills paid, you've gotten, food in your stomach, so on and so forth. You make sure that you have housing over your head, transportation to get to your place of employment, or however you're making your money at that point. Hopefully it's, through a business that you own, preferably. And, so now you have money in the bank. What do you do with it? Do you sit on it? No, yes and no. Okay, so a certain portion needs to be in a rainy day fund. Okay, so things happen. Refrigerators go out. Washer machines go out. Certain things need repair. You don't want to have to lean on a credit card to have those things fixed. You want to have a certain portion sitting aside in the bank as two different portions, right? Okay, so you have your emergency fund. And your emergency fund is if all things go to crap, right? Okay, so you lose your income is basically what we're talking about here. There are many people that have lost jobs and, lost businesses and lost their source of income. And what do you do in those instances? You make sure you have enough money in the bank so that you can survive and transition on to your next greatest thing. Okay. And how much is that? I think 6 months is a good number. So whatever it takes you to survive for 1 month. So housing, food, car notes, if you have a car note, gas, lights, right? All of your bills, okay? And you should have a good handle on your bills. You should make sure that you have a good handle on your bills. This is not hairy-carry. It's all, budgeting and making sure you have everything line item and you know how much is coming out of your pocket each month. You have those things totaled to a monthly number, and you multiply that by 6. and you know that you must have that in the bank accessible. That means that not long-term investments, not stocks, not something where, you know, the bottom can fall out and then all of a sudden your, you know, 60 grand is now worth only 40 grand, and then, you know, you don't have what you have what you're supposed to have in the bank. So that, sorry, brain freeze, but that is that's the first thing. Second thing is it's kind of like not a mad money account, but you know, things, you know, little crappy things go wrong. You know, it just happens. As you girls know, you know, I have to replace the carpet downstairs. Okay, so without money, you know, that would have to be charged, and you don't want to have to charge, you know, a simple expense like that. So you, you know, take it out of the secondary account. You know, have $10,000-$15,000 in that account. And, you know, then you say, okay, well, I owe myself money. You don't owe the bank money. You don't owe a credit card money. I owe myself money. This account needs to be at $10,000. So I just took $2,500 out of it. I need to replenish this fund. Okay, so those are, one is the emergency, you know, all heck is broken loose fund, and the other one is incidental expenses, so on and so forth, that, you know, are not everyday expenses. All right. Okay. So next point. Jobs, I mean, this is my opinion, right? Okay. And my opinion does not apply to all three of you. It doesn't have to apply to any of the three of you. But me personally, I feel that working for others sucks. Okay, I enjoy owning my own business. I enjoy calling the shots, so on and so forth. There is a certain measure of simplicity when you work for someone else. Okay, so owning your own business is more stressful. You not only have your own family depending upon you, but you have other families depending upon you. And you have to make sure you are doing the right thing by everyone. So that is an additional measure of stress. When I worked for someone else, you know, I went to work, I did my job, and, you know, after I finished, for the day, came home and I didn't worry about it. You know, it was simple, right? Okay, so there are pluses and minuses for both things. You will have to determine which one is the right one for you. Okay, but I can speak to both because I've done both. Okay, but speaking specifically to owning your own business, there are a couple things that you want to stay away from. Many people say, okay, I want to own my own business, but what they end up doing is they end up having glorified jobs. Okay, so let's give an example. Chick-fil-A, nothing disparaging about them, okay, but if you want to be a franchisee for Chick-fil-A, they don't allow certain things. So they don't allow you to own the property. They don't allow for you, and that's, I think, the same for McDonald's as well. but they don't allow for you to do a number of things that would indicate that you are the actual owner of the franchise. And what ends up happening is that you become a franchisee, but what you really are is a glorified employee. You manage the store that you are technically the franchisee of. Another example is if you were to buy a gas station, right? Okay, so you have this gas station and you hire people to work at the gas station for you from X hour to X hour, but from 9 to 5, you are at the gas station and you are behind the counter and you are working, taking people's money, selling them candy, so on and so forth. What you have is a job. You may own the gas station, true, but you are tied to the gas station and you cannot, go anywhere between the hours of 9 to 5 because you are running and managing the gas station. Now, if you were to hire someone to work that 9 to 5 shift for you, and you have your other shifts covered for you. So essentially what's happening is now you are managing your employees. You are there, you might stop in for an hour or two. And, I have no idea how to run a gas station. I'm just using this as an example. You stop in for an hour or two to make sure everything is right, so on and so forth. Things are going as they are. You have, your accounting software to make sure no one is ripping you off, stealing from you. You have management measures in place to make sure the business is running efficiently, but you are not spending your time at the location actually doing the day-to-day work of an employee. That is a business. Okay, so by my definition, a true business is something that you have people that are working for you, that are making you money, and your responsibility is to provide them with a means to earn a good living. Okay, so going forward, I want you girls to make sure, if you choose to go down the business road, that you are not just a glorified employee. You might be, you might be your employer, but that really doesn't make a difference. You're still tied to the place if you are a glorified employee, and you don't want that. You want the freedom to go out and do things that you otherwise would not be able to do as a byproduct of owning your own business. Okay, so that's that. We're going to stop this one here because we're at 14 minutes right now, and we will pick up on the financial aspect in a later video. I love you girls.